Hi guys, welcome back. This is Drew Bell, and today I'm continuing Stuff Seniors Should Know. It's a series in which I cover important life skills that seniors have said that they wish they knew or learned during high school so they can be prepared for adulthood. And again, like anything else, it's not as complicated as you might think. It might be new to you, but you figure it out. There's resources out there online, and there are people around here who can help you out. But today we're going to talk about how to file your taxes. So let's just say like you're overwhelmed. Let's actually minimize that. I mean, you get one of these in the mail. It's a W-2. You get this from your employer. Sometimes digitally, if they're good, then you get it digitally and you get it quick at the beginning of each calendar year. And then it shows your earnings for the previous year. So for instance, it's 2021 and in late January, early February, I got my W-2 from my school district, and it's your employer who sends this information about your wages and your earnings and stuff. Typically, it comes in a little page, and there's 4 of them, and they're like perforated, so you can tear them off and like submit them as different things because there might be different places that want these. An example of a place that might want to see your W-2 for proof of income would be an apartment complex or a bank for like a home loan. Those are places that may ask to see your W-2s. Generally, you can make a photocopy, but they're terrible so that you can then share them if you need to. But there's a lot of personal information on there, so you might want to keep some of this private. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how we file our taxes. This is what a 1040 looks like. It seems like all of these numbers would make things really confusing, but an example of how this works is you will be asked to look up, say, a 1099E, and if you don't know what that is, then the good news is everything's numbered. So as foreign as this may sound, the numbers are actually kind of helpful. You'll notice that this is a tax return for 2020 that I found an example of online. It's 2 pages, and that's it. The tricky part is figuring out what numbers go where and which boxes you leave empty. And while you could prepare taxes yourself, doing it the old-fashioned way by filling out these forms and submitting your paperwork, there are easier ways. And so what we're going to do today, oh, these are dirty. What we're going to do today is we're going to see how we file our taxes. And what has worked for me, and it doesn't work for everybody, but I swear by it, is I use TurboTax software. It used to be I would buy a CD at Costco, put it into the computer, and every year upload a new version of the software. But now TurboTax is hosted online, so I don't even have to download or install any software. It is just stored securely online. And then I can download a copy of my documents if I need to. I'm not going to show you my taxes because, again, there is personal information, and I'd have to redact it to the point where it would no longer be helpful. So actually what we're going to get started with today is we're going to take this W-2 as an example, and we're going to go ahead and fill out some taxes. So all I've done so far is I've signed up using my email for a TurboTax account. We are going to want that W-2 open. So let's go ahead and take a look at the W-2. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with personal info. It's going to talk me through the whole process, and it's going to help me file my taxes for state and federal. The majority of you guys are only filing your taxes having lived in California. It does get more complicated if you've lived in multiple states, but a good tax professional or a tax website will help walk you through what you need to do. So for instance, it's going to go ahead and start by asking some of my personal information. I'm going to go ahead and say my name is John Q. Sample, and I'm going to go ahead and put today, not today's date. Well, yeah, today's date. Let's put it's June 5th, and we'll say I was born in 1990, which I was not. For my social security number, if you don't know your social security number, you should, but I'm going to go ahead and put my number as 123456789. That is my social. I'm going to say that I am a teacher. Does not like that social. Let's give it zeros. Does not like ye. That's fine. We're just going to go ahead and see what happens if I do not want to put in a real one. I am not a member of the armed forces. Some of you maybe. Where have I lived? I'm limiting this to California, and I did not live in another state. It would then ask me how long I've lived in that other state, and then that would make a difference. Can someone claim me as independent on their tax returns? So this is where it might get tricky. If you're currently living with parents or guardians, there's a good chance that you may be one of their dependents. How do you find out? One way is to ask them, are they planning on declaring you as a dependent? Another rule is income. How much money have you made and how old are you? If you're under the age of 24 and a full-time student, your parents probably pay most of your living costs and you will be a dependent. You can still file taxes as a dependent. It just will affect what your income is. Why does it matter if I can be claimed? It determines whether or not you can earn tax credits. So for these purposes, we're gonna say that you're on your own, because otherwise, with the $98,000 we're making, we're not going to be a dependent. So let's say no, we're not a dependent, which will give us more options. If you're a dependent, actually the process is shorter because you qualify for less credits. I am not legally blind. I'm not returning this for someone who passed away, and I do not want to change my language. Ooh, it still does not like this number. So I'm going to make up one, and hopefully this isn't somebody's. 415-223-20. Okay. Don't arrest me, TurboTax. I am single. Do you have children or support another person? I do not. Again, if you do, that qualifies you for additional credits. I'm going to put, I don't even know whose address that is. This is the address I want. Sure. Okay, so let us know if you need to file a state return for this income. No, I did not make money in another state. Cool. It's saying file single. That sounds about right. I can move my bubble. Let's move it over here. So I'm John Q. Sample. I have my mailing address, no other state income. So they're telling me that they recommend that I pay $50 for their thing. I can say no. Let's hear about my income. So now we're going to go ahead and start filling this out based off of my W-2, which I do have my W-2. So because I have my W-2, I can go ahead and start filling out the parts of this. My employer's EIN number, it would be found in box B, which I told you, everything is labeled. So this does make our lives easier. So my example is 111, 111, 2, 1. I can upload it. Now I can even just take a picture with my phone. TurboTax is available on the phone, iOS and Android. But I'm going to go ahead and just fill out the rest of this. Shrink my window so I can see everything. Box C, it is Top Company. And their address is 123 Road Street. And it's going to be, we're going to say it's, I'm putting a zip code I know exists, so it doesn't come into problems. Box D, control number, optional. You'll notice that it is blank. I'm pointing at my screen like that means something. Okay, so now I'm going to do boxes 1 through 6. Box 1, I made $98,500. I must have a teaching degree because I'm making big bucks. For box 2, I'm making $15,000. That is federal tax withheld. My Social Security wages, they're counting me as having made $100,000. How much was held out for Social Security? This is stuff I can collect when I'm older. Yeah, it's great. You start making money and then it starts getting ferreted away. And hopefully baby boomers don't steal it all from us. So then we go to 7, 8, I have nothing in there. 10, I have nothing for dependents. 11, nothing. 12, I have 12D, which is an elective deferral for $1,500. And I had a 12 double D, which is 1,000. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't do those things. But you could ask your employer, you can ask your HR office, you can ask whoever you work with. You should have an indication of what those are. There shouldn't be anything super surprising on your W-2 because you've been getting weekly pay stubs or monthly pay stubs. I don't. This is not my W-2, so I don't know what this is. Box 13, I do have a retirement plan that I need to check. Box 14 is nothing. 15, state taxes. This is going to be a separate amount. So I'm in California. Oopsies. And I'm about to sneeze too. Dab, excuse me. So I need my state ID number is 1, 2, 3, 4. How much did I pay? How much money did I make according to the state? Box 17, $3,000 was paid on state taxes. Local income tax is California. Yeah. 18. I made. It says I made 100,000. Local income 4,000. Locality name USA. So with that, I should be done with my W-2. And right now they're saying that I should be getting $250 back from the federal government, and I may be paying $2,700 to California. That can be really discouraging, but you have to keep in mind, in this fictional example, I made $100,000, and I paid 15 in federal taxes, but I only paid 3,000 to the state. So that's why my state taxes are so low. 3,000 is pretty low. But beyond that, let's see if I qualify for any credits. So after I've done that, it's going to ask me these questions. I do not have any of these special things for me, so none of these apply to me. So now we're going to go ahead and it's going to start asking me if I have other income. Did I make any money from interest, savings accounts, personal loans, certificates of deposit? I might have a 1099 interest form if I made more than $10. And you would receive this in the mail around tax season, and you would open it, and it'd be from your bank or from a lender, and it would tell you 1099 INT, and you would know that that's what you need to put in. I did not. Did I withdraw money from my retirement plan? No. Did I control a foreign bank account? No. Okay, so they're going to walk me through other types of income. This is going to ask me, it's going to ask me if I want to upgrade, and I can say no. Did I survive a natural disaster? No. Did I buy, sell, or exchange virtual currency? You don't have to tell people that. You don't have to tell them about your Bitcoin. Okay, you don't have to tell them. Okay, so deductions and credits, I don't care. Did I pay car registration fees? So now we've already determined how much taxes I should owe. The rest of this is about what money can I earn back in credits. I did pay car registration fees. I did own a home. You may not own a home, but I'll just go through it. Did I donate to charity? The answer is yes. How much did I donate? I donated between $1,000 and $2,000. How much did you spend on medical expenses? Well, it depends. This year, none. Last year, none. The year before was like $6,000. So let's just say I spent just a little bit on medical expenses. So they're looking for what might be my best route for deductions. They're saying, you know what, let's look into seeing how much you may save. Did I spend money on school expenses as a teacher? You bet I did. Did I make estimated tax payments? No. Do I have an HSA, a health savings account? If you don't know what that is, you probably don't. Did you make payments on a student loan? I would pull up my 1098E if I did, and I can say yes. Did you pay foreign taxes? No. So what I've been saying is which of these kinds of credits do I need to do? So now these are each different forms I will have to complete. Each one can earn me back some money. Mr. Krabs is a fan. So did I pay any home loans? Yes. Let's find out. Oh, I do not want to enter my tax stuff for my bank. This could be easy, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna do it manually. I'm gonna type it in myself. Let's say I got mine from New Res. This is just an example of a home loan company. No, none of these uncommon situations apply. So I'm gonna have to fill out the rest of this form. Mortgage interest. How much did I pay mortgage interest? I'm just making up numbers. Okay, so let's say I paid $10,000 in mortgage interest, and let's say I still owe $250,000 on my house. Let's say I bought my house January 1st of 2011. I have mortgage insurance premium. You don't know what that is? That means you're paying for having not made a big enough down payment. So they're asking you to pay insurance because they're afraid you won't pay your full loan. I can talk about that in another video. So let's just say my mortgage insurance premium $0, and then we'll just say I paid $3,000 in real estate taxes. Again, if you owned a house, you would know this because you would have the paperwork. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave that one blank because it says I can. Did I pay points? I already deducted them because it was 2011. Was it paid off or refinanced? No. Is it secured by a property of mine? Yes. And you'll notice that my funds just changed because I've paid taxes on my house. Since I've paid taxes on my house, I am eligible for tax credits. This is the loan I used to buy my house. neato, cool. I'm getting a mortgage deduction. That's all we're trying to do here is we're trying to get deductions on our taxes. We're trying to show we are paying the government taxes in other ways, or we're doing things that the government is willing to sponsor us for. So here we go. Donations to charity. Did I make charitable donations? Yes. How much did I donate, or who did I donate to? I go to the Well Community Church. What did I donate? Let's say I donated items. What did I will value them myself. When did I donate them? 01/01/2020. What did I donate? Let's say I donated household items. Let's say I donated clothes. You have to be honest here, guesstimate. Let's say I donated like 10 pairs of pants. I can't use the original value of those pants. So 10 pairs of pants, let's say they're each worth $8. So not a lot, that's $80. Okay. You'll notice that it changed the money up here because of the deduction. Okay, so let's say I did another donation. Let's say I was giving I'm giving money to my church, and I gave them every month. Let's say I gave them $100. That's tax deductible. Your donations to charities matter. So it doesn't matter if it's a church or a social group or a public organization, as long as it is some sort of like nonprofit or charity, it counts. So let's say, for instance, if I wanted to say that I was giving money to Boys and Girls Club, let's say I gave them money. I gave them a one-time check for $200. Some of that was tax write-off. So sometimes that's why rich people will give away money, because it helps change their taxes. We're almost there. We're already making good headway. I'm going to go ahead and let's just do one more. Let's do car. Yeah, I registered my state. What do I have? I have a GMC Canyon. And how much did I pay for my vehicle registration fee? Sometimes it's expensive. I want to say like it was $280. I don't remember how much it was. It says I've maxed out on my federal. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just say like I've done the rest of those because I think you guys get the gist. I did not get a home buyer credit. It's going to ask me if I've done a bunch of other things. There is a difference between standard deduction, which is all Americans can deduct this much given your status, and then this is itemized, which means you want to go through and cherry pick this, and this, and this, and it will figure out what your deductions is. If your itemized deductions are higher, you want to go with itemized deductions rather than a standard deduction. So I am saving money by going with an itemized deduction. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. I want to use my itemized deduction. It's going to ask me if I have any uncommon situations. I don't have a nanny. I don't want to save my tax return for next year. I don't want to spend $3 on the presidential campaign fund. I did not experience identity theft. And did I get a first or second stimulus? I did. So let's go ahead and say I got Let's say I got my stimmy money. It says I would have made very little stimulus money because I was rich in this situation. And they're like, hey, cool, you don't owe us money. And basically, I would just go ahead and hit continue. I would repeat the process for the state. I would review. It would ask me some more questions like, have I ever been a felon, or are there any other weird bank accounts I have overseas? And then I just hit the file button. And then I just have to wait till it's actually tax season. And if they're accepting tax returns, I can file digitally. What would happen is it would send a notice to the federal government telling them that that they owe me back $2,264. That's money back. That's not cash I never had. It's money I paid the government that they owe me back. And then I owe California $1,800. So what would happen is I would have to file my taxes. I can do them either through the mail, which you can print from TurboTax, or you can ask TurboTax to send it for you. It's like $40 and TurboTax sends it for you. But then ultimately I would be walking away with, when it's all said and done, after I've paid California and I've returned my federal fund, I would be up $400. So more or less, that's how you file your taxes online. I know this is a long video and it's kind of rambly, but I wanted to show you that really filing your taxes is not as complicated as people make it out to be. Unless you have a very complex situation, it's not that difficult. I've been doing it myself this entire time. using online software. And if you want to try out other softwares, H&R Block has a software. Both TurboTax and H&R Block have phone apps. They also have free versions that they are federally required to provide you with. And thus far, I have consistently gotten more tax return than any of my friends who are doing it with like in-person accountants, because most people's personal banking is not that complex, especially if you have online banking. Then the whole thing can be pretty easy. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you checking out this video. I hope this answers any questions you may have and settles any fears or concerns you may have about filing taxes. But filing taxes is not that tough. And this is just another stuff that I think seniors need to know.